This tournament represents the start of the summertime swing on the National Walleye Tour.
Oh!
We're fishing for walleyes that are eating. Their metabolism is warming up as the weather warms up. A lot of these fish have migrated towards the southern end near Pickstown.
That's a good one.
There's gonna be a lot of fish caught. It's a question of who gets the big bites. Lake Francis Case sets up nicely for all four of the guys that we're following. For John, summertime is aggressive. I want to fish fast. I want to make the walleyes react to what I'm doing. Pickstown has that to offer. For Dewey, this is the closest thing to home for him. He doesn't fish this stretch of the Missouri River often, but Missouri River impoundments fish similarly, the difference being this end of the river has a shad forage. For Owen, this is as close as we get to being home for him. And lastly, for Max, this is a body of water where he can get vertical, get over top of them. Max is one of the very best with his forward-facing sonar, so this fishery lines up perfectly with his style.
I mean, after Winnebago, I was happy with my finish, obviously, which is, you know, nowadays it's kind of like whatever place I took, I don't even remember. It wasn't bad though. Like, I'm still in the top 10 for Angler of the Year. But then when you see the next one on the schedule, and my partner's Dewey, and we figured some things out on the Missouri River system in the summertime, it's like, all right, we have an opportunity here.
Tired, worn down, dehydrated, malnourished, but happy because you thought I was going negative here. I'm actually really happy to be out fishing on the Missouri River Reservoir, mostly because it's so beautiful and you could catch 100 walleyes a day. I mean, pretty easily. Problem is, I haven't caught a big one since the very first day of practice. I'm not gonna lie, it's not really my goal right now the next 2 days. I want to kind of save that for the tournament, but I'm gonna go out today. If there isn't a lot of people around, I'm gonna check some of the secret stuff, and then from there it's supposed to get really windy, so I might even try trolling, or we might just go in and go bowling. Sneak right in here. Lure A, lure B, rod number 3, also not a trolling rod. What walleye doesn't love fire tiger? It's summertime. That means walleyes like to eat stuff that moves really fast. We did activate some bigger fish in here. This is like 4 days ago, but caught a ton of 19 inchers, which are, people say that they need 18 inchers here, but there's so many 19 and a half inchers. That's not gonna be a problem catching those. This is riveting stuff. 2 casts on fish, they didn't bite it. They don't want blue chrome this morning. That's what I'm thinking. I thought it was a crappie. That was a 19 and a half incher. My gosh. That one knew how to do it. He's a young walleye who's gonna grow up and be a big, mean walleye. Good job. We're fixing on wrecking them now. How much you want to bet I catch one this cast? Forrest, how much? Oh, wow. They're not small. Ooh. A little healthier one. Legal size. Here we go. Got an 18 and a half incher. Forrest didn't bet me. Otherwise, I would have had a little more money to buy gas with. Okay, fine.
They are so tuned up. If that's not a reason for you to want to work something really aggressive, just watch how aggressive the fish are right now. You throw something slow moving, live bait, they literally look at it like, yawn. We'll chalk it up for, yes, all these fish moved out into here. We're out of here.
There's a common conception out there that using active target, that using live scope makes fishing easy, to the point where some people consider it cheating. But the reality is, I can give you the bait, I can tell you where to fish it, and I can show you on live scope exactly how the fish are set up, but you can't do what the top guys on tour are able to do with it. It's a true learning curve. It's a process like anything else.
We got schools of suspended walleyes, just like the other day.
Really, there's no one out there right now that's really expecting me to do well. So all the weight, I'm putting on myself. No one has any expectations for me this year, and that's what my dad and everyone has been telling me, but I have expectations for myself.
I always dreamed of this, ever since I was a little kid. When the voices down deep inside kept calling my name, couldn't be denied. Further on down the road, felt the fire burning in my soul.
Secret, very secret. Not very many people know about these, so let's keep it low key.
On the loose, and I stepped into the light. I'm gonna live, I'm gonna fight like it's the last day of my life. Nothing to lose, don't cry for me. It's my destiny.
For me, and for fishing, confidence is almost everything. If you have confidence in something, you're gonna do good. I had a really good program going at Bago, and then obviously my motor took a crapper, and that kind of destroyed my confidence, and that was one of the big reasons why I didn't do good and catch very many fish, is I just didn't have any confidence. And obviously I couldn't get to my areas, but yeah, when you don't have confidence, it's not good, especially for fishing. Coming here and starting to catch fish, that really boosted my confidence, and when I get confidence, I can get pretty good.
There we go.
It's a cool lake. It's really, I love it here. I'm starting to dial in a game plan. I'm just scoping around and looking for fish. Simple as that. I've been fishing walleye tournaments since I was started when I was 8 years old, just doing the Montana tournaments, the Fort Peck tournaments. We started thinking about it probably about 3 years ago, is when I started. Was like, all right, I think I want to do this for a living. And yeah, this year I finally made the leap. Boom. That's done. Those are what I need.
We're trolling. One of the hardest things in the world to motivate to do. At least for me. There's just so many things. It's like rod holders, line counters, get the crankbaits out, set the lines, figure out how deep they're running, change colors. Oh, we got one clip that's gonna probably break, and then we have another clip that could probably tow a log off the bottom. Suppose you ain't trolling lead core if you don't got your kicker down. At least every time I see Chase Parsons fishing, he's got his kicker down, so maybe that's a thing. No, we just need to tell our partners, oh yeah, we tried trolling lead core even. So they don't think we're just narrowly focused, which we are in reality, but. We caught a few walleyes, we checked some stuff out, and as I thought, the fish kind of moved a little bit, but the cool part about some of those spots that we found is there's immediate deep water access. So they're definitely still on the radar. You just got to fish them a little different, a little deeper. All right, it's officially my favorite part of practice. And with that said, this tournament might be won pulling flicker shads. It has a lot, but I am not gonna win the tournament by pulling flicker shads because they're not gonna be in my boat. So, you know, there's always a little thought in the back of my head. Did I troll enough? Probably not. Do I care? I should, but I don't. But this is another classic case of that scenario. I'm gonna be throwing a Johnny Darter the whole tournament, and I am not gonna be trolling. Crappie.
Oh yeah. You pretty much have to decide before this tournament starts, am I fishing for points?
Just so everybody knows, I cooked tonight, not John, so.
Oh.
I honestly don't even know how much pre-fishing we're going to be doing tomorrow. Probably just going to be checking on some spots and doing a lot of graphing. I already know kind of what I'm looking for, and hopefully get one or two more spots. When this tournament came out like last year on the schedule, I knew that it, especially for the time frame that it's set up, generally when we're down here in Francis Case, it's usually in the springtime, so I knew it was going to be 100% different than that type of bite. I already kind of started thinking about things that I wanted to do and try and all that, and then when we finally got here, yeah, it's set up exactly the way that I wanted the fish. So here we are, day number 5, I believe. Last day of practice for the National Walleye Tour here in Pigstown, South Dakota. We're just going to kind of go around, spot check, kind of see where everybody, you know, might be fishing, what areas are going to be pressured for the tournament. Because obviously I don't really want to fish around too many people if I can help it. Just going to be a lot of driving around, a lot of graphing, and hopefully we can find kind of that needle in the haystack.
So Dewey's been a dominant fisherman all over tour, but he cut his teeth on the Missouri River. He has history on Lake Oahe. He's done well on Sacagawea. This is a little bit different, but he still knows how to fish walleyes that are suspending in the trees. He loves to fish for aggressive walleyes. When I say aggressive, a lot of people think about walleye fishing as a laid-back, grandpa-style fishing. They couldn't be more wrong. Dewey will attack these walleyes. He will drop this bait on their head. He will make them react. He will make them commit, and it works.
That was pretty cool.
I mean, it's true. Like the notions that we have about catching. Oh, you just gotta wait, and you just gotta have this walleye chop. Forget that. Like he's going after them.
It's looking pretty sketchy that way. About 2 miles, I'm gonna say. I'm gonna give it a couple minutes and you're gonna start to see a lot of boats from that direction start running this way.
Thanks, God. Appreciate it.
It's a big one. We're about to die. It's no big deal. So I feel content with that. I'm gonna go down live scoping. No, I feel all right. You know, anytime we're getting to that portion of the season where Max Wilson can fish how Max Wilson wants, and I can kind of fish to my strengths and what makes me, you know, an above average angler.
Hey, old people.
I think I got the bite dialed in enough. It's just gonna be A, making the right decisions on what to keep, and B, if I can trigger those bigger fish and if I can get in front of those bigger fish. I feel like you get me in front of them and give me a shot to catch them, I can catch them. It's just, I gotta see them. This is living proof that Max Wilson did catch a walleye at Francis Case at one point this week. So that's the crazy part about this fishery, is they're so vastly different size-wise. This is an 18-inch fish, right? This 18-inch fish is probably gonna, I don't have a scale on me right now, but this 18-inch fish is probably only 1.3, 1.4. It's tiny. Now the other part of the lake where I'm catching my unders, they're 2.2 to 2.1 18-inchers. So they're just so vastly different. So that's what's crazy, right? So that's the exact same size as that last fish. This is probably about, I'm gonna release you if you just relaxed. I mean, that's the exact same size as the last one, and that's probably 4 or 5, maybe 6 ounces heavier. I mean, that's getting there. If that was a 19, I'd consider keeping that. That's probably a 1.8, but. Okay, you ready to go back now? She's like, there's storms, I'm scared. I'm scared too.
For each tournament on the National Walleye Tour, we have to abide by the local state regulations. For this tournament, we're in South Dakota, and the South Dakota regulations are anglers can keep 8 fish fishing together as a pro and co-angler team. Of those 8 fish, only 2 can be over 20 inches. Culling is not allowed, so when you catch a fish, you have to decide, is that one of my 8 or not? So a perfect slot fish is one that's just under 20 inches, somewhere around 19 or a 19 and a half. And on this section of the Missouri River, a perfect over is 23, 24, 25 inches.
Look at breakfast. This is stupid. I don't know. I mean, I know what I'm doing down south at this point. It's just going to be a matter of if they're there, if I can catch them. So honestly, I think I'm done for the day. Just go back, do my makeup for the rules meeting, tie some rods, tie the co-angler rods. This is definitely going to be a huge change. This is going to mess with a lot of guys. I mean, a lot of these guys don't have reservoir experience, and it's just something I've noticed a lot throughout the years in these reservoirs. These storms, this thunder and lightning, it ain't gonna be good. It's gonna make it difficult, and I think the live scopers are gonna have the advantage because we're gonna be able to see them and drop it right on their face, because I think that's what it's gonna have to. They're not gonna come up and smoke it. You're gonna have to sit there and work them, so great.
Thought this would be the coolest spot to get out of the rain and lightning for a little bit. I would obviously 100% keep this one. I'm gonna say 4 pounds. 313, 312. So, but beautiful fish. I'm gonna let her go. I like to leave myself little notes on each of them waypoints. That way, when I come back to them, there's no question on what I did, how I caught them, how big exactly, all that stuff. You know, from a young age, I lived in Woonsocket, South Dakota, and we had a little lake there called Lake Pryor.
He'd go up there and fish for little bluegills. They'd be 3-4 inches long, but that's where he wanted to go every day. He couldn't read yet. He was little, just a little tyke, but he wanted us to pick up some bologna for him when we went to town, because that's what he'd use for fishing with the bluegills. And we brought bologna home, and it didn't have garlic in it. He must have knew the label of the package or whatever, and he was mad. Threw a little tantrum. I told you to pick up bologna with garlic, and this don't have garlic in it.
So you've been pretty serious about fishing from the very start.
Yeah, I mean, how could you ever get that at that young age, you know? It was like, for me, you know, in my 20s, it was like, why would you even, how did you come up with that? And he knew it then, you know, so.
We used to do a lot of camping trips at Fort Thompson in the summer, and just did a lot of fishing with my family, and I think that's, you know, ultimately what got me hooked on fishing.
While Dewey looks like a stoic, nearly robotic angler when you're watching him, what you don't see is his mind is constantly processing the information. Why is that 27-inch walleye sitting there? Why won't it feed? And then when it does finally commit, his mind immediately switches to, well, what's making it feed right now? That entire learning process consumes him. He's always thinking about walleye behavior. He's always thinking about migration, water temperature, bait fish. Walleye fishing and walleye behavior literally consumes Dewey's life.
You watching what he's doing?
Yeah.
See if he's working it right?
Yep.
It's easy to see. His hands are white against his black. That's funny.
This is our buddy, by the way. This is JJ.
We don't do that to people we don't know.
So I'm watching JJ because he hasn't been catching fish this week on throwing all the different baits. So I'm trying to watch what his cadence is so I can tell him what he's doing wrong right now.
Over the last 3 or 4 years, Max's success has come from getting vertical on fish. You don't see Max Wilson trolling. Max Wilson is in his realm when he's standing on his bow, looking at his live scope and working specific fish. This is Max Wilson's wheelhouse. Owen's had a successful practice by just about any standard. He's caught multiple big fish. However, there's this sort of elephant in the room where he had a really good practice at Winnebago, and then he experienced mechanical failure and the bottom dropped out. This is his chance to prove, not to anybody else, but to himself, that I can translate that from practice success and carry it over into the tournament.
Long time no see you.
I guess I just want to first welcome you guys all to the Wagner and Piggstown area, the Wagner Area Chamber of Commerce. He is our host for this weekend's event, or this week's event.
don't be rubbing it in already.
Just
Come
kidding.
on.
Just kidding.
You can't have 7.
No, I will not have 4 7-pounders.
I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, absolutely, for sure. Yes. I appreciate it. Yeah, no, it's good to see it.
Well, good luck tomorrow, boys. See you guys.
Can auto start this thing with some air conditioning? Huh. Well, malnourished. Kind of had a tragedy with the night crawlers we had from Winnebago. They all died. And now I'm gonna go look for some. If I don't find them, I'm fine. I don't care. It's a sign I'm only using gulp. I'm gonna have 2 gulp down anyways, but it'd be nice to have a night crawler. Walleye still have them. I mean, they're not Costas, but this car comes with its own shades. We're using them. Say a little prayer. All right, a standard, large Canadian night crawler. Since I haven't used a single night crawler in practice, I have no idea how many I'm gonna need. So we're gonna go with the better safe than sorry. We're gonna kill Dustin with kindness. He's the one who killed the night crawler, so I'm gonna buy him 4 dozen. Nice.
I like not. I want to keep it plain and simple. We don't need any extra.
Oh, I'll just get it in the morning.
Okay,
Yeah.
$60 for this.
Dewey, how many walleyes do you want to catch?
It's the night before the tournament begins, and there's sort of this excitement, but yet a little bit of anxiety. I liken it to being a child on Christmas Eve, where you know good things are going to come tomorrow, but you're not exactly sure what that's going to be. There's a little bit of doubt. Was I on the nice list? I believe they're there. I believe Santa is coming, but now I got to go prove it tomorrow morning.
Dwayne Jelm has been on a tear of all tears over the last few years.
Every hour that goes by, you don't have that fish, like, this kind of starts to build on you, and you just start to think, like, did this just cost me the tournament, possibly?